Welcome everybody back to another fantastic episode here of the Three Man Rush podcast. I'm your host Landon Oliver here with my two co-hosts Andrew Scott and Jared Holly. And boy, do we continue the fun today. I know if you have listened to our week one DFS slash fantasy preview, we did the early slate, we did the Thursday night games. This episode, we're going to be getting into the late slate, the 425 Sunday night football and Monday night football. We're going to cover each game, give you some matchups we're looking forward to, some guys we're looking forward to, and if there's anybody you should be watching as well. And then we're going to give you our picks for the games as well. So super excited to get into this. We are just a few short hours away from football starting officially here. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm giddy. I've got the butterflies in my stomach. I'm ready to watch some football.
It's almost like Christmas Eve.
It is.
Like tomorrow I'll go to work early in the morning and I'll be like the whole day just like, geez, I just can't wait to get home and eat some food and watch football. It's like waiting to open those Christmas presents early in the morning,
Yeah.
Like
but the Christmas present is going to be Josh Allen touchdowns. That's the Christmas present.
I think it's going to be very
well, maybe not for Drew. If Drew, that sounds
cold. Like a lump of coal to me.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a lump of coal for Drew.
But football being back is definitely like a Christmas present. And real quick before we get into it, I want to give a shout out. I'm gonna butcher this, but Sardax H, new subscriber that hit while we were recording last night. So hey. I apologize if I completely butchered your username, but we do appreciate you subscribing and helping us grow. We're almost to 50 subscribers, and tonight is actually episode 100. If you count like all the mock drafts, the fantasy drafts we've done live, things like that, this is the 100th podcast that's going to go up on our YouTube channel. So that's awesome. We made it to episode 100.
That's crazy. So like we're basically averaging like 2 subscribers, or for every, not every video, but for every 2 videos,
right?
We're getting a couple subscribers.
Half a subscriber.
Yeah, there you go. There's the math. And in reality, I think 30 of those have come in like the last 25, 30 episodes. Are the early adventures we went on, back in the amateur expert podcast days, did not gain as much traction as things have since we rebranded and since we kind of, formed our identity and figured out what we wanted to do with this whole thing. The audience has kind of come along with that. So, it's exciting. It's a lot of fun. I mean, even if the subscriber count said 0, I'm still confident we'd be sitting here doing the same exact thing, having just as much fun with it. But it's a little bit more fun whenever you have some other people along for the ride with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a fun year all together. And I think those numbers will grow. Obviously, we want to put out good content for everyone. And
that's the main thing.
Trying to be consistent, like that's the most important thing.
Yeah, and that's what's funny too is like we're getting close to 50, and like I had some friends I was talking to the other day, and like they just hit 1,000 on their show. It's a cult show, and they're like, "Man, we finally hit 1,000 subscribers," and like that sounds like so far fetched, but like for like 50, 1,000, like we're excited for every single one that we get. Like,
absolutely.
It doesn't matter if it's 1. It doesn't matter if we get 100. Like we're excited either way.
I remember how excited we were whenever we got to 10.
Dude, yeah, I was like, we got 10 people that listen to this.
Yeah, someone saw it go from single digits to double digits. That felt like, you talk about feeling like Christmas. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Well, shoot, we were stuck on. That's what's crazy. Like kind of like what you were saying. Like we were stuck on 20 for like ever. Like we could not push past 20, and then it's really kind of expanded here lately.
So just a few short of 50. So hey, if you're listening to this and you want to help us out, help us get over that.
Yeah, share the show. Yeah, plug the show. That's we're pretty excited for that. And it's still funny too, like the YouTube algorithm, like it doesn't really like show our stuff like to the.
Yeah, like, we don't quite have the reach to be like, the algorithm affects us a little bit, but.
Yeah, but like it's kind of weird though at the same time too, because I do see some, like I'll see people that like, hey, I just started my new YouTube channel, and like I'm getting it on my YouTube, and it has nothing to do with anything I watch, and I'm like, those people must pay for like the outreach, like because I know
Could
you
be.
can do
Yeah.
stuff like that, and I'm like, man, like that's crazy. Like this person's already got like 10,000 views, and like it's their first episode, and like they're talking about like bathroom products or something like that, and I'm just like, man, like
Roblox.
yeah, that's what we need to throw a Roblox
Yeah.
episode.
That's
in.
what the
Yeah.
kids watch here all the time.
Yeah, if you push out Roblox or Minecraft content,
I don't. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even know what Roblox is. Like I thought
I
that
don't
was.
really either.
I thought that was Legos, but apparently it's like a video game. Or is that or is that Mega Blocks? What's the off-brand Legos? Is it Mega
Mega
I
Blocks?
think it's Mega
It's
Blocks.
Mega Blocks. Yeah, that's what I thought. When somebody says Roblox, I think of like those are the cheap ass Legos.
Those are Egos.
So apparently, yeah, I'm old.
We all are. It's okay.
Yeah, Lincoln
That-
Logs.
That's why we're sitting around talking about football instead of
Yeah, we got
posting
like
Minecraft
if you can see
videos.
the four hammer. So me and my fiance, we got that the other day, and we built it. It's a Lego set. It's 1,000 pieces.
Oh, that's a Lego set.
Yeah, dude, that's a
It looks
Lego.
heavy as hell too.
It is hefty. It's a Lego set, and it's 1,000 pieces, and like that shit was like $100, like no joke,
Oh, yeah.
$100 for that. And I was sitting there, and like we were talking about it. I'm like, man, like I remember you could get a bucket of like 3,000 plus Lego pieces, and it used to be like $10. Like they would just come in like this massive bucket.
Back in my day.
Yeah, I was like, man,
It's
like,
called
that's
a
crazy.
little thing called nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
And basically now you're the older guy that has the money to buy those things that you wanted as a kid.
Yeah, I definitely would have wanted that as a kid.
That's all adulthood really is. It's just, making enough money to buy all the stuff you wanted to buy back whenever you were a kid.
Oh,
That's pretty much what
Yeah.
adulthood
You mean
is.
I can eat pizza and ice cream whenever I want?
Yeah.
I can play video games for 6 hours and nobody's going to tell me no?
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah,
Adulthood isn't all that bad.
No, it is not. I mean, it's expensive. You pay for it for sure, and you work constantly.
Yep, that too.
But yeah,
After Sunday, we won't have that to worry about anymore.
Exactly. Once you guys join us on our millionaire maker journey here on the show, I'm excited, man. I'm ready to get into this. So week one preview, like I said,
let's do it. Yeah, let's
yeah,
talk
man.
some
We
football.
finished up. I believe the last game we finished up with, of course, was the Colts game. That was the last one on our 12 o'clock slate, or 1 p.m. slate, depending on where you're watching this, or 10 a.m. slate, wherever.
I'm so
wherever
jealous of the West Coast, man.
I know, man. Imagine waking up and
Make some
football's on at
coffee
10
and watch
a.m.
football. Like, you guys suck. Like, you already have all the nice weather. Now you get that shit too. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Pretty nice.
Well, hey, weather's been nice around here, man. It was nice today. I loved it. So let's go ahead and kick this off. Look,
Speaking of weather.
Speaking of weather.
Yeah, speaking of weather, this might be a little weather game. So if you did not know, we're going to kick it off with the Giants visiting the Tennessee Titans at the high school stadium there in Nashville. Yeah,
you're not wrong.
Yeah, I hate that stadium, dude. It's so bad. So the Titans right now are minus 278 on the money line. So they're pretty heavy favorites in that game. And the over under is 43.5, with the news that Jared brought with us is that there's a thunderstorm warning in that area for Sunday. I'm probably going to take the under at 43.5. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a sloppy game, like two bad teams going at it. Don't really want anything to do with that game at all. Yeah, man. So the Titans actually, like, we haven't really talked about this at all, but there is some news there that went on. They did lose Harold Landry for the year.
Yeah, that's
which is like a pretty big blow to that defensive line.
Big time.
And like Bud Dupree's coming back from his ACL, like last year and stuff. So it's pretty much all on him right now. At the linebacker position, obviously Jeffrey Simmons is still there, and that guy's a monster. But yeah, I mean that's Yeah, man, that's a big blow to that defense. I know we haven't talked about that yet, but so what are some things you guys kind of looking forward to, looking forward to in this game? For me, I am looking forward to Derrick Henry. I'm looking forward to the usage. Like obviously, the guy was on pace for like 500 carries last year, and he got hurt in week 8. I'm curious to see if they're going to actually learn their lesson from that and kind of dial him back some. I don't imagine they are,
Nope.
but all I know is like 28-year-old running backs with that many carries coming off of foot surgery, I'm wary of. And especially like his efficiency last year, even before he was injured, took a dip, a pretty heavy dip as compared to what it was. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing Derrick Henry. Like obviously, I want to see the guy fully healthy. I don't want to see anybody like ever go through injury. So I'm hoping he's fully healthy and out there, because even if he does play for the Titans, he's a super fun player to watch. He's awesome to watch. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing how Tannehill bounces back, from the whole Bengals disaster. He was in therapy, like he went through therapy and stuff. So it was really weighing heavy on his mind. So I know getting that bad taste out of your mouth, and I think they got a good chance to do it against the Giants secondary, especially Bradbury's gone. Kayvon Thibodeau's banged up. Like, he's limited in practice. There's not really a ton. I think Azeez Ojulari is also banged up as well. So they're already dealing with some injuries there on defense. And it's going to be interesting to see. So that's just kind of like some stuff I'm looking at in this game.
Yeah, for me, I'm really interested to see what happens with the New York Giants pass catchers. You've got Kadarius Toney, seems like he's always hurt. Kenny Galladay is apparently just like a statue that just stands out there on one side of the field. You got Wan'Dale Robinson, who's a rookie, Sterling Shepard, who apparently might play, and he's like 9 months removed from an Achilles tear. So just whenever all these pieces are healthy, and like if Kenny Galladay could be, the Kenny Galladay we saw in Detroit, like it looks like on paper, just looking at the names, ignoring all the horrible factors that go along with it, it doesn't look like a terrible group of pass catchers if they're all out there, if they're all healthy. But that's pretty much never the case for any of them, other than Wan'Dale, who like we don't really know what's going on with him other than the fact that he's a rookie. Obviously, I have
He's
a
not
lot of
had a
hope for
chance
him.
to get hurt yet.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So I'm really curious to see how that shakes out. And honestly, it might not even matter because Daniel Jones might not even be able to get him
Yeah,
back.
I was gonna say, like, even if they are healthy, they still have Daniel Jones throwing them the
Yeah,
ball.
so it might not matter. I'm just excited. I fully believe that this is Saquon's season.
I do
I
too.
really
I
do.
love it.
I don't think the injuries that he's had is like something where you can see a pattern or a trend. Like it's just
No,
a
they've been
couple
like really
freak injuries. Yeah,
freak
and
injuries.
we cannot forget how great of a running back prospect this dude
Well,
was.
so normally
How
too,
great he was as soon like his rookie. It wasn't like he was a great prospect and then he flopped. Like he came out, was incredible as a rookie. He's dealt with injuries. He's dealt with bad offenses. He's dealt with turnover and coaching staffs, and he's had to play with fucking Daniel Jones. So, like we need to remember how great Saquon Barkley is. And if you don't remember, I believe that he's about to remind everyone, and it's going to start on Sunday afternoon against Tennessee. So that's the number one thing I'm most excited for.
well, there's also too like the aspect of like last year he was coming off, the ACL injury, and normally it's the second year whenever guys really start to look like their old selves.
Yeah.
And he dealt with some other like injuries last year as well. So yeah, like I think he's fully healthy. He said this is the best he's felt since going into his rookie year. I do think their offensive line is upgraded. I thought they made some
Yeah.
strides there as well. So I think that will help them in that aspect. And yeah, I think Saquon's going to take over. I'm really excited to watch him this season.
Yeah, it's a whole new coaching staff too, and I think that's something we got to take into consideration as well. So we don't know what to expect from the Giants. They're a big wild card. They have a lot of talent at the receiver position. I think Tony is going to play. All indications are looking like he's a go for week 1.
He's a special talent too.
Yeah, he's a
Really
great
good.
pass catcher. I know the fantasy community absolutely can't stand Kenny Galladay, and for good reason. He hasn't done anything in forever. But I do think he's a big body wide receiver that can score touchdowns still. I think if he's put in the right position.
Well, I know the tape on Kenny Galladay too this preseason has just been like
Abysmal.
not good, but apparently has been dealing with a lower body injury. And that's kind of why
he is a New York Giants wide receiver, so that's part of the requirements if you want to play for the team.
Right. So
yeah, last year was just a train wreck with that receiving core. It was a mess, and I think it's kind of starting off that way too. But the only one I think is a real question mark is Sterling Shepard playing week 1. I think everyone else is ready to go. They don't have Evan Ingram anymore, which say what you will about Evan Ingram. I think he helped that team out, stretching the field a little bit. And everyone talks about Saquon Barkley, and like it was a freak accident, his injury. Derrick Henry doesn't get hurt. Like this guy, like literally last year, I think that is a freak injury. I don't think it's a long-term thing.
No.
I think people are overreacting to it.
And he already came back, like
Right.
we got to see a glimpse of it last year. And granted, it didn't look great, but he at least made it back on the field last year, and now he's had an off season off. So to your point, I think it's
he's looked just fine in his training videos. Like
yeah,
I think just like anything else, a car with high mileage is, if it's a classic, it's still a classic. You let it rest, you sit in the garage for a little bit, put some tarp on it, don't let any dust get on there. Derrick Henry's a stud. If you're playing anybody in this game for fantasy, he's definitely the most reliable one.
See, that's the thing is they ain't putting a tarp on it, man. It's got 200,000 miles and they're growing cross country.
Yeah. There was a top on it this offseason, but like Vrabel does not strike me as the coach that's going to be like, no, we're going to take it easy on you. He's he seems like more of like the coach that's like, you're a football player, go play football.
Well, I think
they
too,
rotate
like
his
more or
tires
less,
and change his oil every once in a
I'm
while.
curious too about like the Traylon Burks thing, the usage with him, the usage with Phillips, their other rookie wide receiver, the Robert Woods injury, because like I said, normally it's about it's a 2-year thing before guys really start to look like themselves. So I know he looks fine and healthy, but I'm curious to see how Robert Woods look. The pass catchers there have some question marks. And that offense is like, if Derrick Henry's not the same Derrick Henry, there might be like some problems with that offense.
Oh yeah. I already feel like there will be problems with the offense. I don't think you're going to see it in week 1, or it's going to be hidden really well in week 1 against the Giants. But
yeah, I was going to say that it's good thing is they're playing the Giants. So let's go ahead and give our picks for this one. We'll move on to the next one. Pains me. I'm actually going to pick the Titans. I'm picking the Titans.
Same.
I am as well. I'm a little concerned for the Titans long term this year, but I like them week 1.
Yeah. They got a pretty good.
Their schedule's tough, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say they got a pretty good break for this game because their schedule's not gonna get easy at all. So yeah, and see, look, growth. I'm not biased all the time. I can pick the Titans to win.
They just need to play like the Giants or the Jets.
Yeah, exactly. So the next game is a game that I'm really excited about. It's a game that I've actually kind of like wavered back and forth on, and that is the Green Bay Packers against the Minnesota Vikings. So right now, Packers are -133 favorites to win the game. Only a 47-point over under as well. So not quite as high scoring as I figured it would be. I think that might be more from Green Bay's side. I think everybody is kind of scared off from the weapons. And like I said, it could be like what me and Jared have talked about, where it's going to be a lot more of like a ball control, run the ball, kill the clock type of offense. So maybe Vegas is reflecting that type of stuff kind of baked into it. But anything you guys looking for in particular with you're excited to watch here with the Packers? Jared, you're shaking your head. Go ahead. Throw it out.
Yeah, wide receiver 1, Aaron Jones. I think he is definitely going to be the monster in this game. You look at his numbers last year when Devontae Adams was off the field, it was astronomical. I don't believe in Minnesota's defense whatsoever. I think Aaron Jones can get loose. I think A.J. Dillon's going to be a problem. They're going to run 2 running back sets. There's a lot of people that question the Packers pass catchers, and for good reason. I mean, Sammy Watkins, like say what you will about
Hey, it's
Sammy
week
Watkins.
1.
It's week 1.
There's ever a week to play Sammy
He
Watkins.
will be in at least one of my DFS lineups. I promise you.
I would take stabs if it was me. I'd throw darts at Randall Cobb.
That's my favorite one.
Yep. I mean, in all honesty, he's going to be dirt cheap. No one's going to play him. It's a high-scoring game.
Rodgers is huge on trust. Huge. Yep. And there's nobody he's going to trust more than Randall Cobb. So I think that's a great call. And for how cheap he is, I think he's the best play if you're going to grab a wide receiver in that game from Green Bay. I agree completely.
And then the other side of the ball, I mean, I still feel like it's a condensed offense in Minnesota. I know they've had a few key additions here recently. And I know you guys were big on Osborne at the beginning of the year. There's been some changes, obviously. But I still think Justin Jefferson's elite. I don't think it matters the defense. Obviously, he's someone extremely hard to fade in fantasy. That Green Bay defense is good, but Justin Jefferson is a king of separation. If anybody's going to get open on that defense, he's got to do it. This game could easily shoot out and go over the total. I can't say enough good things about this. This is probably my second favorite game on Sunday.
I love this game. I'm so excited to watch Aaron Rodgers. To Jared's credit, I know he said Aaron Jones is going to be the monster. I think there's another monster in that backfield that's really going to take over this game, and that's AJ Dillon. I don't trust Minnesota's defensive line, and that guy's one of the hardest guys to tackle in all of football. You want to talk about like Derrick Henry type of like running guys over? That's what type of guy AJ Dillon is.
Yep.
I think he's going to make his mark in this game. There might be, I think Aaron Rodgers Aaron Jones does have the chance to lead the team in targets, almost possibly for the season, but I think in this game for sure. But yeah, I'm super big on AJ Dillon this week. And on the opposite side, I like Minnesota's offense in this game as well. I know we said that the Packers defense is really, good, but I think it's going to take some time to gel with some of these younger guys they have. Some of these guys coming back from injury that they had, the new pass rushers. I do think it's going to be like a few weeks before they really kind of start to hit their stride and come on. And I think the continuity that Kirk Cousins has with these weapons with, Dalvin Cook is now lining up more as a receiver as well. They're going to be using him spread out. Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne, Adam Thielen, Irv Smith is on track to play as well in this game. So on the Packers side, it seems that there's a lot of turnover where on Minnesota's, I think there's a lot more familiarity with each other, like maybe not within the system because it's a new coach, new head coach and all that stuff. But I think it's a lot easier to whenever you have the relationship that the quarterback and those weapons have together because they played together for now 3-4 years, or in the case of him and Thielen, like forever.
Feels like forever, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to watch, and I think this is going to be a vintage Adam Thielen season too. I'm excited to see him. He said this is the healthiest he's felt in like 4 or 5 years, which everybody's healthy in preseason. It seems like that's just like the normal
shape
thing.
Of their life.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really good Adam Thielen type of game in this one. So yeah, I'm targeting Adam Thielen. I think Dalvin Cook is going to get some good carries as well. I think Kirk Cousins could have a good game, and I love AJ Dillon this week. I love AJ Dillon.
I can't wait to see. I don't know how often it'll happen because I don't know if Jair is going to shadow. I don't know how much Justin Jefferson is going to move around. But you're talking about like Jair Alexander to me is like 1A, 1B with Jalen Ramsey as the best corner in the league. And you got Justin Jefferson, who is one of the best receivers in the league. I hope those guys line up against each other often because that's something that I like. I just need like a separate camera off to the side of just those two guys working against each other because that's poetry right there with those two guys. That's what I'm hoping for.
Let's not forget either, like the number 2 cornerback in Green Bay, Eric Stokes. Like that dude had a really great rookie year.
Yeah. Green Bay's defense is nasty.
Yeah, man,
that's a nasty defense.
That's a good defense for sure. So, but like I said, I know they're starting their other linebacker that they took in the first round, I know he's kind of struggled a little bit in preseason. The defensive tackle they took in the first round, he's kind of struggled in preseason. Now they've flashed as well, so it's not like they haven't made plays or anything, but they've struggled a little bit more than what you would want to see. And I think it's just growing pains. I think they're both really good players. But that's what I'm kind of getting at is like I think it could be a slow start for that defense. And Minnesota has a really, really, really good offense. The only reason I don't trust Minnesota is just because of that defense. I don't trust their defense enough. But yeah, if they even had what I think would be even an average defense, to me, this offense could carry this team.
One more thing to piggyback off this. Last year, these two teams shot out in a duel, and
I'm taking the over.
And that's sure. One thing too. This is in Minnesota, so it's not in Wisconsin. Like
Dome. They're in a dome.
Yeah, that's what makes this game so intriguing. Like and you think about it too, why AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones are going to be so popular. Aaron Jones is going to be overly popular on all betting formats imaginable. But if you think about it, I mean, there's a chance Alan Lazard doesn't play. Nobody knows about Robert Tonyan, what's going on with him. So all those things are question marks right now. And I still think Aaron Rodgers is going to want to throw the ball. Minnesota plays at a high pace where the Packers do not, but they're going to force them. Like if Green Bay gets down in this game, which is realistically it could happen, this game could just be exactly a repeat of last year where it came down to the last bit. Minnesota actually pulled off the win last year in the Dome. They pulled it off.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and give our pick here. And like I said, if you did not know, for the money line, Packers are slight favorites at -133. It is a 47-point over under, so I'm taking the over on that. And weirdly, I'm taking the Vikings in this game.
Go ahead, Jerry.
I'm taking the Packers. I'm wearing a green shirt, and that's no. I like it. Comes down to it. I think they make one big play to stop Minnesota and win the game.
Yeah, so I made a big case of the Vikings winning this division come year's end. So I have to stay on brand and pick the Vikings. And all those defensive players that I'm worried about if they're going to make it through the year healthy or not, they're at least going to be able to play week one. So hopefully they can make it through week one. And another kind of storyline to watch is that Darius Smith literally came out on his own and said, "I signed with the Vikings to get revenge on the Packers for how they did me." So here you go. You get the chance to go after.
That's a stout offensive line there in Green Bay.
It is. It's tough. It's tough. But I like whenever players don't try to just give like BS answers and they just come out and just straight.
That's why I like Baker. That's why I like Baker. Like Baker's just fully.
So another like little low key revenge game storyline there to watch. I love me a good revenge game, as you know by now. So
that's the entire week one slate.
This really is what like the NFL. if it's one thing they're going to do, they're going to market the shit out of these games.
Oh yeah,
as we'll see whenever we talk about Monday Night Football here in a little bit. But I'm taking the Vikings.
Yeah, which is weird because I have the Packers in the Super Bowl. I don't even have the Vikings making the playoffs. But week one's fluky, and I think there's going to be a little bit of growing pains, at least for the first couple weeks. Let's get into our other game now. This game will be a shootout. This is the Kansas City Chiefs in the Dome in Arizona facing the Cardinals. Chiefs are slight favorites as well, -250 to win the game on the money line with a 53.5 point over under. I think this is the highest scoring over under game of the week at 53.5. And for good reason. This has the propensity to really pop off and be a really entertaining game, unless you like defense. If you like defense, you might want to tune out of this one.
But this ain't the game for you.
You're not gonna like my stance on this game at all.
Oh, you got a fluky week one stance. I like it.
I do.
All right, so like for me, like I'm just looking at how the offense now basically operates in Kansas City without Tyreek Hill, the threat of Tyreek Hill. I think it's going to be more efficient, weirdly. I think they're going to be using a lot more weapons. I think they have a multitude of guys that do different things, and I'm kind of excited to see how Andy Reid uses them. Guys like Sky Moore, Juju, MVS, those type of guys. They each have a different skill set than the other ones. So Obviously, you still have Travis Kelce there. I like their O line, so I'm curious to see how their offense is going to look now without the threat. Because even if Tyreek Hill, we know what he does on the field, but even the threat of that guy completely changes the defense and the way they have to play you. So I'm curious to see how they're going to play him. But like I said, I think Mahomes, this could be an MVP type season for Mahomes. I think he's going to be a lot more efficient. He's, one thing about the situation he's been in and why it's so beneficial for a young quarterback like that is he's now going into, what is it, year 5? Was he drafted in 17, 18?
Year 5.
Yeah, this is his 5th year. He's never had to change systems. He's never had different coordinators. Like, this guy knows what they want to run like the back of his hand. And this is going to be so awesome to watch a guy with that type of talent now with that type of like mental aspect getting added to his game every year. That's why you see a guy like that get so much better. So yeah, I'm super excited to watch Mahomes. And then on the flip side of that, the Cardinals, I do sneakily like their defense a little bit. I think they have some really cool players to work with. Like, they probably lead the league in defensive, like, positionless players, like guys that are safeties that can play linebacker, or linebackers that can line up at defensive end, and defensive ends that can move inside or drop back into coverage, or like, man, they've got so many like just different like chess pieces there that they can move around with. So I'm really kind of curious to watch how like some of these positionless type of players that are kind of like in betweeners coming out of college are now going to get utilized going into like, their second, third year. And obviously, Kyler Murray's going to be there. They lost Christian Kirk. DeAndre Hopkins is gone, but they added Hollywood Brown, and I'm excited to see that college connection. See if it kind of pays dividends the way like Burrow and Chase did, and see if maybe this might be kind of a model for teams going forward. Is drafting these younger wide receivers coming out, or going and getting these younger wide receivers, whether trade or free agency, that played with your quarterback in college. We saw it with Derek Carr, Devontae Adams. We obviously Burrow and Chase last year. Now we're seeing it in Arizona. So I'm kind of curious to see how this model continues to look with more teams kind of going that route.
You got Tua and Waddle too, right?
Yeah, they played at Alabama together.
Yeah, sure did. So it's kind of becoming more commonplace.
Yeah, it is. So I'm kind of curious to see, because it was a lot more like, now I think Waddell had a good year last year. Obviously, Tua was hurt, but it seems like, a lot more teams saw the success that Burrow and Chase had, and they're like,
it's
hey,
a copycat league, man.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm curious to see how this season some of these guys start to look.
Yeah, I'm just like, if I've got a player in this game, it's all systems go. Like Mahomes, Juju, Kelce, Kyler, Hollywood, like the main pieces.
Zach Ertz, I think Zach Ertz could have a big game
if he plays. I know there's he's a game time decision. We don't know what's going to happen with Rondale Moore. Like there's a decent chance that AJ Green might be a viable fantasy option this week if enough people end up missing the game. So that's something just to keep your eye on, because I mean he's probably on every waiver out there, and then DFS wise, he's going to be cheap. So if Zach Ertz misses, if Rondale Moore misses, like Hopkins is out for 6 games, so it's you at that point you would have Hollywood Brown, a rookie Trey McBride, and AJ Green. So, and it's going to be a high scoring game, I think. So that might be something just to keep an eye on for you guys that wait until Sunday morning to set your DFS lineups and things like that. AJ Green could be a cheap throw-in that could pay dividends with this game, setting out the one thing I really don't want to even bother with is the Chiefs backfield. Because I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the guy, but I don't want to put my money where my mouth is on that. And then like they've got Ronald Jones, they've got Jarrett McKinnon, they kept if it wasn't for Dameon Pierce, Isaiah Pacheco might be on his way to the Hall of Fame, but Dameon Pierce stole his jacket. So like I just want to let that backfield play itself out. I don't want to be the one trying to bet on how that's going to play out. So that's the one thing that I really have question marks on.
You
But
already
I know
did.
I was saying I know
Yeah.
Jared said he had a.
I was gonna say,
he had a
Jared.
thing we weren't
Yeah,
gonna
let's
like. So
hit us with it.
The Chiefs are going to blow out the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday. It's
Oh,
not going to be close.
I could see
Like,
that.
I agree.
Arizona is extremely banged up. This sets up
Yeah, they
like
really
for
are, like,
DFS, I'm
really.
salivating basically at this game and hoping that things play out the way they are right now because Rondale Moore and Marquise Brown are going to be two of the most popular wide receivers taken for this game and on DraftKings and FanDuel. They're going to be very popular. I will load up on Clyde Edwards-Helaire and just hope for the best because they are a 6-point
It's not a
favorite.
popular pick, so I mean, like, if he does hit, it's going to be worth your money.
Yep, and I like the Chiefs' defense in this game too. I think they're going to cause turnovers that can turn into points. If they can get down to the goal line, hopefully
I will
Ronald
say, I
Jones
think
in the game, and it's CEH, and that's where I stand.
yeah, I think this is going to be a really fun Kyler Murray game. Not in like a good way, but because I think he's going to be running for his life all day long.
They're in a bad shape. They're in if Zach Ertz, there's a really good chance he doesn't play. Indiana Isabella is out. Like, dude, they're down to Rondale Moore and Marquise Brown. That's literally it. And I understand why
AJ Green.
They're down to Rondale Moore and no,
hey, AJ Green, like 700 plus yards, a few touchdowns.
Yeah, I know. That's disrespectful completely. AJ Green is one of my favorite fantasy players ever too. But he is older. He's an older wide receiver.
Arizona is a good place to go to retire.
Oh yeah. This sets up.
They love old players too.
they do. That's what I'm
really
saying.
do. This sets up to me as a blowout.
I could see it. I could see it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, let's give our picks here. So 53.5 is the over under. I'm actually going to take the under on that. And I'm going to take the Chiefs for sure.
I would also
as well.
Yep, I agree with Landon on the under, and I think we talked about it at the beginning of the year. Kansas City's going to run the ball a lot more this season.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's get in here now to me, what is one of my favorite, and probably my second favorite game of the week outside of the Colts game, and that is the Las Vegas Raiders. Josh McDaniels' debut as a coach, or not debut, but Las Vegas debut, and the Los Angeles Chargers in LA in the Dome. The Chargers are favorites here at minus 182. I think it's a smash on that. And 52 is the over under as well. So probably going to take the over on that one. This to me, the way that Jared thought about how the Cardinals Chiefs game, like this is kind of how I view this game for the Chargers. Now let's preface this. JC Jackson will be out week 1. So JC Jackson's not going to suit up. I think
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, Devontae Adams could really eat in this game. On the flip side of that, I think the Chargers offense is going to just absolutely annihilate
that's
the Raiders.
A well-oiled machine over there.
Like that. I believe Justin Herbert was both of you guys MVP. So what do you got to do if you're an MVP candidate? You got to start hot. You got to come out the gates firing. I think Justin Herbert does. I'm just excited to watch this team because all the additions they made. And the big thing is, man, the Raiders offensive line.
Yeah.
Not atrocious. Like it might be bottom 5 in the league.
Yeah.
And now you have to block on the same side, Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack.
Not to mention they added guys in the interior like Sebastian Joseph Day as well.
Exactly.
Really underrated player. Yeah. Like they've got some underrated signings that they had.
Derwin James is back healthy too, like one of the best safeties, one of the biggest game changers in all of football. So even if JC
best safety in the league for my money.
Yeah. So even with JC Jackson not out there, I don't think they're going to have enough time to throw. It's going to be a lot of underneath routes to Devontae. It's going to be a lot of slants. It's going to be a lot of out routes to Devontae. I don't think you're not going to have time to take too many deep shots. And they're going to be heavy play action. They're going to have to at least try to run the ball to minimize the hits on Derek Carr. And I just don't see any way this Raiders offense can keep up with what the Chargers are about to do. So I'm super excited to watch this Chargers team this year.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Obviously, with how much I've talked this team up, and yeah, I think that this is going to be a huge example of one team that took an area of weakness and made it a strength in the Chargers and what they did up front, and then it's going to shine a huge light on the Raiders doing basically nothing to address their weakness in the offensive line. To Landon's point, I think that's spot on. The biggest thing I had highlighted for this game. And if you've got a Los Angeles Chargers player that you have on a fantasy team, it is all systems go. Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler,
Got a lot of
Mike
Mike Williams
Mike
shares this year.
Williams,
I got a
Keenan
lot of Mike
Allen.
Williams.
Like that offense is about, and then like I like Devontae Adams quite a bit. I don't know what's going on with Darren Waller. Like if his injury is a real injury, if he just needed a new agent, if he just wants a new contract. Like I don't know what's going on with Darren Waller. I have no idea. But
there's a good thing that there's a good chance Darren Waller is going to be covered by Derwin James in this game quite a bit. So
if Waller doesn't play, Hunter Renfrow, like Hunter Renfrow's a guy I've been lower on than most this offseason in terms of like where he's going in fantasy drafts, things like that. But if Waller doesn't play, I mean, the passing offense is basically Adams and Renfrow at that point. So, I'm fine with him at that point too. So, because I expect the Raiders to be playing catch up most of this game. And so,
There's
like, with that being said,
this is kind of a weird team too for me because I see so much love for the, and I don't know if it's just like the overall AFC West aura that's around them because the AFC West itself is getting so much love. So everybody's showing love to the Raiders. And I know they made the playoffs last year, but this team to me got a lot worse.
I mean, they added Devontae Adams and they added Chandler Jones. Like they added a couple of big pieces.
They added some big names, but like they didn't address any of their major issues, and those major issues got worse this year.
The offensive line is awful, and
their linebackers are really bad.
Awful.
I think
pretty much their defense outside of their
outside of Crosby and
Chandler Jones.
Their defense in general. I think Rocky Ya-Sin's a good young player, but I don't think he's gonna be covering any of these guys.
You're not gonna stick him out there to shadow Devontae Adams.
And even if he's on Mike Williams, like that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be.
I said Devontae Adams. They play on the same team. Yeah. But yeah. To your point, like Rocky Ya-Sin's a good player, but are you going to feel comfortable sticking him on Mike Williams or sticking him on Keenan Allen?
Yeah, and that's your number one guy too. Like that's your guy. So man, this is going to be a bloodbath to me. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm taking the Chargers as well, and I'm actually probably taking the over on this game. I think this could be a game where the Chargers score like 40 plus points.
Yeah, the thing about the Chargers, they're going to throw the ball no matter what the score is.
Yeah, they're going to
play that style, and I think there's a little added motivation because this is the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year too.
Revenge game.
Revenge game. Week 1 revenge game. The return of the revenge game. Man, like I agree. I think it's not going to be close. It's another one where one team is better than the other team. And, injuries aside in this one, I think Waller's big thing is the contract. I think he's healthy. I don't think it matters. I think if anybody gets off with the Raiders, it's going to be Devontae Adams. But I could see him having a ton of catches, but not getting in the end zone. Like it's going to be tough, man. They're going to have to run the ball, like you said, to protect Derek Carr from getting murdered in the backfield. But the Chargers,
Derek's gonna have like Vietnam flashbacks about his older brother David with the Texans.
Dude, they're putting in a very similar situation with an offensive line.
This is what it feels like to get absolutely annihilated on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I mean it's a very similar situation. But as far as fantasy goes, like the Chargers, I mean you can pick anybody at this point. You can pick Gerald Everett, a tight end.
Yeah.
You could throw
Josh Palmer.
Throw a Hail Mary, Josh Palmer. I mean, there's so many options, and it's not like the Raiders secondary is very good either. So it's basically pick your poison. I will load up on Austin Eckler. I don't completely in on that.
Yeah, I don't see the love for this team, man. I don't get why everybody's picking them to finish. Like
I think they got the Devontae Adams thing came out of nowhere. Like it really did.
I mean, yeah, like it's fun and it's fun for fantasy, but like this just team as a whole, man. Like I think this team picks in the top
fans
10.
are gonna casual fans are gonna
picks in the top 10.
gravitate to that.
Oh, it ain't just them, man. It's national media. Like the other day, like I said, like I was watching Good Morning Football. There's a guy on there that picked the Raiders, to make the playoffs. Didn't even have the Chargers in the playoffs.
Yeah, Skip Bayless has a show too, and it's 5 days a week. So there's always gonna be hot takes. So I get that.
You
Those
guys have LeBron played
a lot better at than what we are, and I'm not hating on them either. I watch all that stuff and get a kick out of it. But man, I don't see how. Like I just don't know with that division being as good. Are they gonna win games? Yes. I think Carr's a good quarterback.
Yeah, they're still a good team.
I love Derek Carr.
Yeah, but that division, I can't see them beating out any of those teams. Like they'll get a win or two here and there from the division, but
plus two, they made the playoffs, so it's not like they got a cakewalk schedule either. So
they made the playoffs on that team came together, man, last year. Wow. That was one of those. That's Derek Carr. That's all. Derek Carr is the reason they made the playoffs last year.
Yeah. All right. So where are you guys going? So I already made my pick, the Chargers.
I think it was a clean sweep for the Chargers.
Clean sweep for the Chargers. All right. So speaking of Skip Bayless, now let's get on to the Tom Brady versus the Dallas Cowboys. This is the ultimate Skip Bayless game here.
The Skip Bowl.
Yeah. Buccaneers are favorites to win at under or minus 143. It's a 51-point over under as well. So one of the higher scoring ones of the week. I'm actually taking the under in this game. This is a weird game because both these teams had so much promise coming into the offseason, and Dallas did absolutely nothing to make their roster better. If anything, it got worse.
It did.
Yeah, and I don't trust Mike McCarthy. And then who knows what's going on with Tom Brady as well? Like, is he a reality show TV star? Like, he's been in a tanning bed. Like, he looks like a Muppet. Like, I don't know if the plastic surgery is going on. Like, I don't know what's going on with this dude. Like,
that's the one thing I'm not worried about is Tom. I don't
know, man. I'm a little worried about Tom, man. I've never seen him look human. And this is the first, whenever he showed back, so he missed 2 weeks of camp, which is, I'm not worried about that, but he comes back and I don't know what, he looks shell shocked.
There's that one still frame of him not looking like a supermodel. I know, but
no, he looked like a supermodel. That was the problem. There's Botox. There's chiseled jaw. He looked like a robot. Guy might be a robot. He's 45. But yeah,
I don't think that's out of the question.
Yeah. So yeah, man, this is a weird game because I want to be excited about this game because I really like a lot of the players on it, but I'm not excited to watch this game. I think this is.
Oh, I am.
I think this could be a very bad football game.
I'm excited. I don't think it's going to be the shootout it was the last time they played each other or anything like that. But I'm excited to see what Dallas is like, man. I'm curious to see what that offense looks like without Amari Cooper. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see what Zeke looks like.
I'm so sick of the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. This team, this does not need to be. I would feel better about that Raiders Chargers game being on Sunday Night.
That would be a better.
I think most people would, honestly.
I don't want to watch this game on Sunday night.
Well, you're going to.
I will.
So
sure will.
I'll tune in. I would watch the Jets and Giants.
Until people stop watching the Dallas Cowboys, you're going to see them on Sunday night more often.
Yeah, I just continue.
How many years in a row do they have to screw up?
I continually get more and more annoyed every time a receiver gets traded, and then I see the return that the Cowboys got in the Amari Cooper deal, all because they didn't want to pay him the whatever $20 million he was owed. You're supposed to be a win now team, and you traded one of the he's not a top 5, probably not even a top 10 receiver in the league, but he's a better than average receiver and one of the best route runners in the NFL. And clearly better than every other receiver you have on your roster, not named CeeDee Lamb. and you trade him away for basically pennies to the Cleveland Browns, and then now you've got Gallup coming back off injury. You've got a rookie Jalen Tolbert. You've got Dalton Schultz.
They were talking about trading him.
For the life of me, I can't understand why, if you're a win now team, why you don't just pay that money and keep Amari Cooper around. And like that has annoyed the piss out of me since the day the trade was made, especially considering what they got back for him and how many teams this offseason now have dealt receivers that have gotten such better returns. And it's just
I believe Jalen Reagor went for the same price
better
as Amari. Yeah, a better price than Amari.
Yeah, the Eagles got more for Jalen fucking Reagor than the Cowboys got for Amari Cooper. Like, that blows my mind. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. And I mean, like, I've got some CD Lamb here and there for fantasy, so like I'm excited to see him be able to step into that unquestioned wide receiver 1 role. But for the Cowboys as a football team, that shit makes no sense to me whatsoever. I think that was so stupid. Like, I don't care about his age. I don't care about his contract. If you're a win now team, you pay that contract and you keep it. It's a good thing to have talented football players on your team.
Yeah.
Breaking news here, but like that shit is just that's crazy to me, man. So I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me.
You can make the argument that Amari Cooper was a better wide receiver than CeeDee Lamb, like the last couple of years too. Like I think, I think Dak had a better rapport with Amari Cooper than CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, they want to run the football. They want to be a run-first team. That's obvious.
Yeah, Jerry Jones loves him some Zeke, man. He loves him some Zeke.
It's very frustrating.
Well, apparently Mike McCarthy came out today too and said it was going to be a split backfield. So,
I mean, with the lack of weapons that they have, I don't know how you don't get Pollard on the field any way you can. Like, you've got to have Pollard on the field. He's CeeDee Lamb, Zeke,
Pollard,
Schultz. Schultz. Outside of, Pollard is one of their best weapons. So I mean,
they could run.
You need to get that man on the field, and you need to generate touches.
It's similar to Green Bay, but the problem is Green Bay has a much better overall team. Like that's the difference between the Packers and the Packers and the Cowboys is Green Bay's got an elite defense where I think Dallas doesn't have a terrible defense. I think they get a little bit more credit than they should. But yeah, man, Tony Pollard, it could easily be a 2 backfield at all times. They'll run different formations.
Yeah, but see, now they're running up against Tampa Bay, and that's the one team you don't run on.
Yeah, they've historically been one of the, if not the best run defenses in football for like 4 years running now. Like, this isn't even like a small sample thing. They've been doing this shit for 3-4 years in a row. So, and they've still got the pieces on the defensive line to still be great against the run. They still have the linebacking core to do it. So I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be a tough run defense all over again.
Yeah. So, all right. Well,
let's get our pick here. Lamb.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the under in this game as well. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game, especially 51 points. But I'm going to take the Buccaneers to win this.
I am as well.
Bucks.
All right, clean sweep on the Bucks. Now we get into another really fun game from a narrative aspect. Probably not a really fun game from a football.
Denver. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
all right. So we got Russell Wilson and his new team, the Denver Broncos, riding in to Seattle, his old stomping ground.
Broncos country.
Listen, they're going to ride in there. That stadium might collapse from the decibel level that's going to be in that stadium for sure. Those fans are going to be fired up.
At least like the first drive of the game.
Yeah, and then after they're down,
21-0 at the
end of the first quarter. They probably won't be too loud, but yeah, it'll be a fun atmosphere to start the game. So yeah, Russell Wilson going to his old team there in Seattle. Broncos are heavy favorites at minus 286 to win with a 44.5 point over under as well. So Seahawks, man, this is going to be a rough year, but I think the fans are expecting it. And I'm excited to see this team with Denver. I want to see if they're actually going to open it up, let Russ cook, let those weapons at wide receiver, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. I am I do want to watch the backfield in Denver. I want to see how the split goes with Javonte and Melvin Gordon. And I like the defense there as well. This secondary is tough, man. Like they got such a good secondary there in Denver. So yeah, to me, like this game's really good from a narrative standpoint, but I think from the football standpoint, it's just it is what it is. One team's clearly better than the other one.
It's the red wedding.
Right.
If we're being honest,
I don't know if it's that bad, but
it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, there's no pregnant women getting stabbed and all your favorite characters dying in front of you.
I don't know. Seattle fans are kind of wild, man. There might be some stabbings after they see how bad this team is.
Well, it is the Northwest, and
there'll be more tears shed after this game than when Cobain was announced dead. That's how bad it's going to be in Seattle. Oh, come on now. We got to have a little fun. There ain't nothing to talk about in this game.
Yeah, there's not much. So let's go ahead and give it a pick here. I think we're all taking the Broncos. Jared, who you take?
I'm taking the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
I am also taking the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to stay away from the over/under in this game as well. I want nothing to outside of just picking the Broncos money line, which at that point I think it's you bet $10 to win $3.50.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm pretty much just staying away from this game if I can. So, but that takes up week one. That's all we have here for week one. That's the whole slate. So watch the early games episode if you missed that one as well. We dropped that one earlier today. We're going to be releasing this one on Thursday on the day. So if you're listening to this, happy football day. We'll kick it off right. We're excited, man. So, and then make sure as well to tune in to later on in the week. We will be doing a full DFS show, just a quick show we do once a week where Jared really dives in to some of the key matchups, some ownership stuff, some guys that he's looking forward to, and then we all kind of put together a team together as well. Based on different things. Like Andrew's more of a fantasy guy. Jared's really big in the DFS. I'm much more of like a scheme, like real life football type of guy. So grind and film, all that kind of stuff. So we kind of combine our powers, the Captain Planet thing. Yeah, like Earth, Fire, Wind, and then like we give you our Captain Planet lineup of the
Go Planet.
Go Planet. Yeah, he's a hero. Going to take pollution down to zero.
Right.
And if it's anything like DFS is, we're going to take our wallets down to zero this week.
That's exactly where my
no sir.
Well done.
No sir.
Yeah, because
Jared's going to be a millionaire though.
Yeah, Jared. Yeah. If Jared's a millionaire, we're all millionaires.
Right.
So we're excited.
Those subscribers up for us too.
That's right. Yeah.
1,000. What happened?
Yeah, we get 1,000 subscribers. Jared might throw some cash. He might meet you over at the strip club and make it rain for you.
Oh no,
that sounds like a good subscriber goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice little
meet Jared at the strip club. Make it rain with him if we hit 1,000
Olive Garden and break bread. That's pretty much my life.
Yeah. You're never too old for a fat cowgirl lap dance. So, all right, guys. Well, that brings it. Yeah, we're gonna end it on that one before I get kicked off of YouTube if I keep going. So, I know we don't make any money off this, but we'll somehow find a way to get demonetized.
There's a will, there's a way.
They're gonna make us pay them money. To post.
And you can't make fun of fat women on here. Like you got to pay the troll toll.
Yeah, only Charles Barkley can make fun of fat women. He's the only person that can get away with something like that.
I'm not Charles. I got a better golf swing than him. So, all right, guys. Well, we're excited. So, like I said, tune in next week. Follow us, on Twitter at 3 Man Rush Podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, as well as the podcast channel, whether that's on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you listen to podcasts. Go ahead and give us a subscription. Leave us a review, preferably 5 stars. But if you absolutely must, I'll take anything at this point. I'm not going to be picky. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And make sure to listen to the DFS show. This is a chance for you to win money. And everybody likes money. So we will see you guys here in a few days. Happy football Thursday.